So, what type of woman do you want to be? What do you want your next chapter to look like? Do you want to be the woman who retires, who waits for the kids to call them to babysit or visit, maybe plays golf or bridge once a week, reads a few books, signs up for a cruise from time to time, but mostly spends her days at home, talking to people on the phone or chatting with her partner? Or do you want to be the woman in her mid 50s who decides that she wants to take up ballet? She dreams of going on point, so decides to start with the absolute beginner ballet classes, and after a year, notices that her body and her face has completely changed. Or a woman who started painting at age 60 and enveloped herself into her painting life and is now exhibiting her work at the local gallery and selling each piece as soon as it is finished. Are these real women? Yes, they are. I know all of them. And what's the difference? Why is one woman walking confidently into her next chapter while the other is just coasting along? Is there a quality that is completely different in these women? Well, I'm here to tell you it is curiosity, holding on to or welcoming in that childlike curiosity that every one of us had when we were children. But somehow along the way, curiosity got relegated to unnecessary, superfluous, extravagant. And yet, I believe it is the key to a happy life and more successful aging, specifically healthy aging. Science has started to pay attention, and it is now being proven that curiosity is not only important for child development, but curiosity also plays a significant role in healthy aging, specifically that cognitive functioning and memory. Welcome, everyone. I'm Sharri, and this is the place where we talk about how to make your next chapter not only fabulous, but purpose driven, fulfilling, and maybe one of the most productive and creative chapters of your life. So let's talk about curiosity. When we're kids, we're constantly asking questions, seeking answers, exploring the world around us. But as we grow older, that curiosity starts to wane. And I think that's sad. But what's key here is that we are in control of whether or not we let that happen. One common misconception is that as we get older, we naturally become less curious. We think that's part of the aging process, that we're supposed to become more set in our ways, less interested in trying new things, and less open to new experiences. But that's a myth. Curiosity is something that can be cultivated and nurtured at any age. Another misconception is that as we age, our brains start to decline and we're no longer capable of learning new things or processing new information. Again, that's just not true. Our brains are incredibly resilient and they're capable of reorganizing and adapting throughout our lives. And curiosity is a key part of that process. Our brains are like muscles, use it or lose it, right? So the more we welcome curiosity into our lives, the more our brains expand and continue making those important neural connections. Think of some of the older women everyone knows because they're celebrities who are out there running businesses, writing books, designing products, selling real estate, and running governments. And they're all older. Martha Stewart is a spry 80-year-old who still physically works very hard and runs her creative empire. Ina Garten is putting out another cookbook and just released her memoir, which is fantastic, by the way. My good friend Valerie is still running her real estate agency, making deals, and I'm telling you, the person I'd want in my corner when involved in real estate transactions. Then there are the history makers. We all know them. Julia Child, who went on television with her first cooking show when she was in her mid 50s. She still has an impact on the food world today. Grandma Moses, some of you who aren't Americans may not know who she is, but she was a famous American painter who didn't start painting until she was in her late 70s. And she painted until her death at 101 years old. Agatha Christie, who published, oh gosh, I don't even know, 100 novels maybe that have all been turned into series and subsequent spin-offs and whatnot. She wrote her last book at age 82. We aren't meant to coast for decades after we turn 50. Your post 50 chapter can be one of your most productive and most creative. And the women I just mentioned did that. These are all women who were curious about things, that curiosity just never ever ended. They never allowed themselves to get too comfortable. And they never said to themselves, forget it, Martha, forget it, Julia or Agatha, you're too old. So why should we? Another thought that may be present as we age is that we think we're supposed to have all the answers. Because we had successful careers, we raised the kids, we, did the work, so to speak, we might think that we don't have to ask any questions anymore. Wrong. When we stop asking questions, that is when we stop seeking answers and when we stop exploring. That's when we start to stagnate. And stagnation is the enemy of creating a vibrant, fabulous next chapter. My grandkids love it when I say, oh gosh, grandma did that wrong, or grandma took a wrong turn. We're going to try to figure it out, so let's go a different way. They think that's so funny, but actually I'm modeling a curiosity of how else could this work, and also an acceptance of, oh gosh, I did it wrong. Let's find another way to do it. Curiosity has some really amazing benefits, and I want to talk about a few of them. First, curiosity is really good for our mental health. When we're curious, we're more engaged, we're more motivated, and we're more likely to experience a sense of flow, a sense of fulfillment, and that truly helps to reduce stress and anxiety. Curiosity also helps us to build social connections. When we're curious, we're more likely to ask questions of other people. We seek out new experiences and we engage with other people in that process. And that can really help to combat any feelings of loneliness we might have or feelings of isolation. Curiosity is also amazing for our cognitive function. When we're curious, we're challenging our brains. We're building new neural pathways and we're keeping our mind sharp. And that can really help to reduce the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. There are so many studies that have shown the benefits of curiosity for our health and well-being. And I think it's really important that we take those findings seriously. Now, lots of people might think curiosity is something you are born with. And if you don't have it, you can't get it. Well, that's just not true. Every kid is curious about the world around them. Just this morning, I was making, I was making espresso at my daughter's home. And her almost 2-year-old twins stood next to me, quiet as mice, staring at the espresso machine as it made me a coffee. Now, their mom doesn't drink coffee, so they had never seen it being made before. And I looked at those little faces and I asked myself, what if I looked at everything in my life with the same focus, the same wonder, the same interest in something new? So what are you curious about? What do you want to learn more about? What are you Googling? Right? Type in a question and you get a multitude of articles and experts and opinions and even images. So what do you Google? What is it you're curious about? Few of mine, I want to learn how to edit videos. Don't ask me why, but I do. I want to learn how to design and sew my own clothes. I used to sew as a young girl, And now I've got some ideas and I want to see if I can figure out how to make them. I want to learn how to draw rooms, like a perspective of rooms. As you all know, I signed up for a design certificate. I want to design rooms. I want to figure out floor plans. I think that would be really interesting. I want to learn how architecture is a view into cultural habits and values. So I signed up for some walking tours that might go into those little concepts. I want to know if I can explore Italy as a solo traveler. I've never been. Can I spend time in the Cotswolds of England as a solo? Those are just some of mine, and they are super random, as you can hear. And yours might be too. Curiosity is actually related to step one in my new book, Design Your Fabulous Life. It's all about letting yourself dream and imagine all kinds of possibilities. Later in the book, I'll show you how to dive deeper into your ideas to see how they fit. But what drives all of our dreams? Curiosity. For me, honestly, curiosity has been a transformative experience. It has helped me to stay engaged, to stay motivated, and to stay connected to the world around me. And I think it can do the same for you. So I want to leave you with a challenge today. I want to challenge you to cultivate your curiosity, to seek out new experiences, and to ask questions. And don't be afraid to look silly. Don't be afraid to not know the answer. And don't be afraid to explore. So, to summarize, curiosity is really important for successful aging. It helps us to stay engaged. It helps us to build social connections, much needed social connections, and to keep our minds sharp. And I think it's an essential part of living a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life as we age. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share maybe the experiences that you have had where curiosity really made a difference in your life. We'd love to hear your story. So let's keep the conversation going. And if you want to learn more about how to design your own fabulous next chapter, do check out my book. Please give me a thumbs up if you've liked this conversation. We all know that matters in YouTube, and subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, everyone, and happy 2025. Let's make it a fabulous year.